All right, welcome back into the Cards Report. Let's get flat into it because there were some injuries this past weekend. I'm hearing on my end, Max Melton, he's probably going to play this week. He's kind of like a day-to-day type candidate. I'd say if he misses this week, I'd be shocked. Will Johnson, 1 to 2 weeks. Expect him to probably miss this game, be back next week. And then Garrett Williams, is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. I'd probably be more conservative on that and say closer to 8 than 6. Let's just call it what it is, potentially dodged a bullet in the secondary. I think out of everything that went down on Sunday, if you were to tell me that that was the outcome of all of those injuries that happened, I would say you have to be thrilled about that. I know that they're bringing in some people for workouts. That's probably a good thing. They need to do that. Probably regardless. They're ever since the Sean Murphy bunting injury in the offseason, and along with just some other stuff, the guy who went down right away in training camp. But I mean, sorry, the only thing that's on my head right now is just, I've said this for a while, and I said it last year. I said it a lot. I joked probably on the first episode, if you guys have been tuned in the whole time, Osama bin Petzing. Little extreme, I get it, but I just don't. It feels like this week too. Finally, it's caught up to everybody else. Everybody else is kind of having the same extreme opinion of what Drew Petzing brings to the table as an offensive coordinator. It is, in my opinion, embarrassing what he brings to the table as an offensive coordinator. The conservative play calling all the time is never going to work, ever. And last Sunday, that was the exact thing that kept the Arizona Cardinals from, one, being able to cover the spread, and two, just being able to coast and dominate this game, throw up 30 points on the scoreboard. And instead, they are down to the absolute wire. And I know everybody's going to sit here and complain about officiating, this, that, and the third. The reality is you should have never been in that scenario to begin with in any way, shape, or form. So anything that happened with the officiating, I put on the Arizona Cardinals. I put on Jonathan Gannon for not being more aggressive and not putting your foot on the gas when you could have put those guys away in the dirt. Coming out of halftime, going down the field, and punching a touchdown in and looking damn good doing it, that should have been the urgency that should have been played with the rest of the time. Then Kyler trying to make a play. Think about it. Think about how bottled up Kyler is the entire game. A guy who's so special. A guy who you should be encouraging to use his athleticism, a guy that you should be encouraging to go and be a playmaker, somebody who they have turned into just such a game manager. And we saw some flashes this past weekend, that one long run out of the pocket where he got down. The next play, he's a little rattled. They call a play for him. Not a play that I like, the classic Petzing bootleg. And he goes, he's rolling out. He gets some pressure because the offensive line has been abysmal all season. Kyler tries to roll out, make a play. He tries to throw a ball. His arm gets hit. It gets picked off. And then guess what? Gannon, the offensive coordinator, every single person on the sideline, their assholes shrink for some reason. And they're like, oh, that interception was too dicey. Like, we got to dial this back the entire game. Then switch to a style of defense that just allows Bryce Young to dice you up. That's what he's good at. You give him time, and he's able to find some spots on the field. He's not a terrible quarterback, but if you watch the first half of that game, he was in hell. Bring the house. Every time they brought the house on him, every time they got pressure on him, he was in hell. So why did you stop doing that in the entire game? Because they got scared off that Kyler threw an interception? That should never be the case scenario for any football team across the NFL, especially one that's as talented as the Arizona Cardinals. So think about last year, the Minnesota Vikings game on fourth down. instead of going for it and trying to put the game away, trying to go up, Gannon goes and kicks a field goal. And then they go and lose that football game. The conservative style of play calling is going to not allow this team to fully flourish. And I think that that's Gannon's biggest Achilles heel of his skill set as a head coach. I think he's a good head coach. I like him. I think he does a good job. But the conservativeness and how scared he gets at times during the game, where instead of playing to win, he's playing not to lose. And at some point, something has to give. Somebody has to get into his ear about this. And I don't think that that is going to change, unfortunately. But I do think that that affects his longevity in this position as the Arizona Cardinals head coach. Now, let's get into Gannon, because obviously into Petzing, because obviously it's gone around social media how upset everybody is. How let's just start with this. Marvin Harrison Jr., 11 targets in 2 games, 98 yards and a touchdown. Again, I said this in the offseason. Stop just letting Marv get cold and then just like go to him in like one of the biggest spots of the game and expect him to make like an incredible like catch. I get it. You want him to do that as a top 5 pick. He needs to do that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to get him in some sort of rhythm, because it's clearly not working the other way around. So something has to give. Get him some easy touches, get him some easy looks, build up that confidence throughout the course of the game. So when you are throwing a back shoulder fade at the goal line and a cornerback is in his grill, he has the confidence to go and make that grab. That's what he needs. You need to figure out how to use these players correctly. The conservative play calling from Petzing as well, to not allow Kyler Murray to be Kyler Murray, which that is what you live and die by, having Kyler Murray as your quarterback. He is super special. So you should allow him to do those super special things. And within all of that, he's going to fuck up. He is going to make some boneheaded mistakes. He's done it his entire career. But that's the give and take that you have when you have Kyler Murray as your quarterback. To completely dial him back and strip away everything is not my personal opinion of how he is best used. So I didn't even get into the score of the game this week, but I think that everybody is going to be feeling the exact same way, because if you just look at how these first 2 games of the year have gone out, I think the Saints are sneaky. I said that in the first episode. I think the Saints are going to be sneaky all season. Don't know why, but they went down to the wire with the San Francisco 49ers. I get it. Brock Purdy's not playing. All of these people are not playing, but that defense is a really great unit. And it felt like they pushed that defense to its limits. Ultimately, they couldn't get it done because Spencer Rattler's not that guy. But I think that they're sneaky. But if you look at the first 2 games of the season, Arizona's at New Orleans 20-13 versus the Panthers at home 27-22. At a point when you're sitting here and it's the third quarter and it's 27-3, you're like, man, we feel damn good about where we're at right now. We're going to put this away. Let's do it. Then they go on and score 6 points in the third and then 13 in the fourth, while the Arizona Cardinals did nothing. Nothing on defense, nothing on offense. That is absolutely embarrassing. And it feels like, although they're 2-0, that if these were teams that had a clue, these are the 2 worst teams in the NFL. If these were teams that had a just above average unit on both sides of the football, the Arizona Cardinals start this season 0-2. But what is good is that they are 2-0. What's bad is they're losing guys in the secondary. Again, their defense isn't healthy. Walter Nolan's hurt. Obviously, they lose 3 corners. So that sucks. But guess what? We have to figure it out, because last year, Gannon figured it out with a way lesser group than they have this year. So I'm expecting him to figure this out in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think just playing some soft zones, soft man, whatever he's doing, allowing the quarterback to just find those spots with no pressure up front, rushing four, not sending a blitz, rushing three, not sending a blitz, whatever. That is not the recipe for success for this Cardinals football team at all. I don't care that he throws 3 safeties out in the field. That shit means nothing to me anymore because this defense has looked like shit for the first 2 weeks. Plain, flat, and simple. So let me pull up FanDuel here real quick. Week 3, we're on the precipice, obviously, and they are at San Francisco at 4:25. It's on Fox. Shout out Fox. I like the time of the year that they're catching them at home. Like, they are going to go on the road, but it's like, okay, we play Mac Jones. Okay, Kittle's out. Okay, Ayuk's out. Okay, this is that and third person's out. Whatever, whoever it is. Hold on, they're asking me for my code here. I mean, come on, I use this app like every weekend. I like how they're catching them at a time where they should win this football game. I'm a little worried because it's going to get to the point where it's like every team, like when you look at the Cardinals after this season, it's going to be like, man, look at the list of quarterbacks that they played. Because it's already starting. It's going to be already. It's already bad. It's like week 1, Spencer Rattler. Week 2, Bryce Young. Week 3, we have Mac Jones. Then we have Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, Jordan Love, Dak, Sammy D. Brock Purdy should be back for that matchup. And then it's like T-Law, Baker Mayfield's really good. Matt Stafford's really good. CJ Stroud, which he looks like shit. Don't know what's going on. Michael Penix. It looks like Joe Burrow is going to miss the entire season. So Jake Browning or Malik Willis, apparently, whatever they do. Everybody's going to say how fraudulent this football team is if they make it to the playoffs. Look at this list of quarterbacks they played. That is going to be the most beatable team in the playoffs this year. And I know I'm looking far ahead, but I'm just that's my prediction. Now I'm just laying that out for everybody ahead because although things have not looked pretty, there's no reason for me to sit here and think that a team that should have covered their spread both weeks, whatever happened at the end of that Carolina Panthers game happened. It was brutal. That should never happen again. And if it does, there's going to be some serious conversations about Gannon and his future with the Arizona Cardinals. Because that is one of the worst head coaching performances I've ever seen. And I'm like being nice about it. So let's get into this week. Sorry, I'm all fired up today, but 425 spot. Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. As stands, it's swapped because I knew the Cardinals were 1.5 point favorites. They are now sitting at 1.5 point underdogs on the road. Money line sitting at plus 100. The over-under is sitting at 43.5. Don't know who's on this call yet, obviously, for the referees. Been sending out some referee stuff in my group chats, and it's bizarre how much the bets hit that correlate with the referee crews. So again, if you guys ever want to, even if it's just for vibes, go down the comment section. Our Discord's in there. We just like talk shit, post our bets. You don't have to pay for anything. We're not scammers or anything like that. It's just the boys having a good time, and we sit in there and watch some games sometimes or play video games. If you want to join, feel free to join. If not, then don't. I'm going to bet the Cardinals money line on this. I think it's inexcusable if they drop this game. I think that if the Cardinals want to take a step forward this season, it starts here. It started week 1. It started week 2 but they won both those games. And guess what? Week 3 is another test because this is a spot where the Cardinals could go classic Cardinals and drop this game with Mac Jones at the helm. Obviously, the 49ers have a great coaching staff. I'm not taking that away from them. But the laundry list of injuries, although the Cardinals have their own injuries, this is where the offense needs to step up. This is where Petzing needs to figure something the fuck out. Kyler should have a big game. James Conner should have a big game. Marv should have a big game. And Trey McBride should have a big game. Those are your guys. They're superstars. Use them as such. let them carry you to this win. And I think that that's a possibility that we'll see this weekend because the offenses looked so clunky. I think that at some point that they're going to have to reverse at some point, and I like them to do this in a bounce back spot against the San Francisco 49ers. They obviously had that game at home with the Panthers. I like that quick flight to San Francisco. Nothing crazy, not a long flight, not crazy travel. I expect everything to kind of go as planned, and I like the Cardinals money line to hit at this spot. Bet-wise, not giving anything out because James Conner is let down twice now on his over and rushing, so I'm a little down on what the run game has looked like, so I'm not going to give that out again. I will say, NFL did decent this week. Like I said, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you'd see that. Like I hit a Nico Collins touchdown last night, $90 to win 220, 200 or something, and then went like 50-50 on the NFL on Sunday, and then I went 5-0 on college on Saturday and absolutely collected the bag. So if you guys like to bet, send me over what you like. If you need some bets, please hit me up. Like I said, Discord, Twitter, whatever you guys want to do. But that's a little update here on some injuries and what I think about what's going on with this coaching staff. And then lastly, previewing this game for Sunday. Let's hope for a positive result against the San Francisco 49ers. And this isn't a homer pick. Like, if I think that the Cardinals will lose, I will say it. I just think that these first 3 weeks of the season should be an automatic layup. So, so no homer shit. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. The Cardinals Report will be out every single week throughout the course of the season, maybe in the offseason as well, depending on how it goes. But yeah, thank you for watching and enjoy. See you guys. I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take